World in a Cave and the Existence of Other Dimensions Part 2. According to traditional Chinese culture, there are deities and cultivators in mountain caves. Some people wanted to find them but weren't able to, while others met them by accident. Taiping Guangji records of the Taiping era records quite a few stories of people seeing immortals in caves, such as Chesu, Pei Shizi, Wang Tan, Yin Ying, Sai Yaomen, Huiwei, Li Qiu, Su Qian, and others. Some of them continued to cultivate following the teachings of Taoism and eventually succeeded, while others passed up the opportunity because they regarded the pursuit of material things in the secular world as more important. Mirages. Another example of the existence of a physical world beyond what we normally see as a mirage. Mirages have often been documented as images of mountains, buildings, and ships. According to Mengxi by Tan Dream Pool Essays by Shenhua, renowned scholar Yang Zhu of the Song dynasty saw vivid mirages. From Dangzhou in today's Shandong province, one can look out over the ocean and see palaces, people, wagons, and horses. When he was traveling through Gaotan County in Shandong province and stayed at an inn, he could hear deities, wagons, horses, and people passing overhead at night. An older man said something like that had appeared in the daytime 20 years before. During the reign of Jizong of the Song dynasty, renowned poet Su Danpo was demoted and sent to Dangzhou. He had heard about mirages but had never seen one. As he was leaving the palace, he prayed at a temple to the sea god, asking to see a mirage. The following day, Su did see a mirage. The images were so distinct that he could make out people, wagons, and horses. In the clear sky to the east above the sea, the deities appeared and disappeared in broad daylight. Su was known to believe in Buddhism, which could explain why he could see that mirage. The Buddha Shakyamuni once said there are 3,000 worlds in one grain of sand. That is, many things that everyday people do not know about exist in other dimensions. Some of them might be related to the caves and mirages mentioned above. In Chinese art over the past 5,000 years, works that vividly portray the sacredness of Buddhas and the kindness of Bodhisattva have been created. It is possible the artists actually saw such scenes and were thus able to create works of art that help bring people closer to the divine. Experience of Sun Yat-sen. Sun Yat-sen, renowned statesman and first provisional president of the Republic of China, visited Putuo Mountain in Zhejiang province on August 25, 1916, with several Kuomintang leaders including Hu Hanmin, Deng Jiayan, Zhu Zhuowen, Zhou Paizhen, and Chen Qubing. It was already dusk when they arrived. Upon approaching the lantern tower about half a kilometer from Huiji Temple, Sun saw dozens of monks standing in welcome. In front of the temple was a magnificent archway, where a tall flag waved in the breeze. The monks pressed their palms together in Heshi to greet them. Behind them was a divine being and a gigantic wheel rotating. The scene soon faded away. After entering Huiji Temple, Sun asked those who had accompanied him if anyone had seen the monks and the flag, but no one had. When Sun talked about this with Liao Yu, the abbot of the temple, Liao Yu invited him to write down what he saw. Sun thus wrote a short essay titled My Visit to Putuo. In closing he wrote, looking at the scene, it was as if the universe was within actual reach. The sky was blue and the breaking waves white with mountains here and then. It seemed I had never experienced anything as pure and sacred in all my life. Hearing the tides, I could understand the Buddha principles that encompass everything. The real world. In modern society, scientists explore the world through observations, mathematical deduction, and experiences. But this limits our understanding of the world to the immediate material level, without exploring the realm beyond our everyday comprehension. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity points out that the universe is not just three-dimensional space length, width and height, rather, it has a fourth dimension, time. Lisa Randall, a theoretical physicist at Harvard University, proposed the fifth dimension, which is very close to us although we are not aware of its existence. In The Evolution of Physics, from early concepts to relativity and quanta, Einstein gave the example of a movie. People on the movie screen live in a two-dimensional world and they cannot understand our three-dimensional world. Similarly, it is hard for us who live in the three-dimensional world to imagine a four-dimensional existence. David Deutsch, a physicist from the University of Oxford, believes that quantum mechanics is essentially a multi-universe theory. Cosmologists have deduced that the matter we can detect is only 4% of the entire universe, while the remaining 96% consists of dark matter and dark energy. Many physicists thus not only believe in the multi-universe theory, they think that there could be countless universes. In Phaedo by Plato, Socrates described the earth in other dimensions before his death. This included the composition of the sphere, the color of the earth, the brilliance of the plants, the shape of gemstones, and more. But these details were ignored by Western philosophers. But faith in divine beings is deeply rooted in some of our greatest scientists such as Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. They believed that such a sophisticated world could not exist by chance. Another dimension. To some degree, the world in which mankind exists is a maze. But occasionally, other dimensions are revealed. This happened to Nancy from Australia, as was reported in a 2021 Minghui article titled "A Daughter who opposed her father practicing Phelan Dafa eventually started to practice herself." Nancy used to have a successful career, a husband who loved her very much, and a great life. Although his father practiced Phelan Dafa and recommended its main teachings Zhuan Phelan to Nancy in 1998, atheism had been drummed into her at school in China, so she dismissed it. After the CCP defamed Phelan Dafa with the staged self-immolation incident at Tiananmen Square in 2001, she forced her father to comply with an official order to write a statement promising that he would not go out and tell people about Phelan Dafa. Things changed dramatically after that. Her husband, who had wooed her for almost 10 years before they married, had an affair and divorced her. Nancy's company laid off employees due to financial problems, and her income was greatly reduced. Even though she was still young, she suddenly had health problems, often feeling weak and dizzy. "I felt like the whole world was crashing in on me," Nancy recalled. "It wasn't until after I started cultivating that I realized that blessings and retribution are related to one's attitude toward Dafa and that sins against Dafa are the most dangerous." Nancy finally picked up Zhuan Phelan in 2011 and began to read it. Although she questioned the existence of other dimensions, she once experienced it herself when she was about to read the book. "Another world flew to me from far away. I entered it before I knew it. It was a beautiful world, with bright sunshine, chirping birds, and perfect temperature. The beauty was beyond this world. All of a sudden, I flew up and saw waves of mountains under me. The air was pure and clean. Although I flew up high, I could see every blade of grass on the mountains. As I turned my head, trying to look at both sides, I heard the sound of the wind. Whoosh! I came back to my dark bedroom. I put my hands in front of my eyes, but I couldn't see them because the room was so dark. I sighed and admitted that other dimensions truly existed." Nancy read the section about the celestial eye the next day. After that, according to the Minghui article, she decided to cultivate according to Phelan Dafa. She then experienced a rebirth physically and spiritually. "Not only was my health restored through cultivation, but I've also learned the purpose of life to return to one's true self. I no longer complain when I run into conflicts but look within for my faults," Nancy explained. "As I learned to view things from a higher understanding, conflicts were resolved easily. My family life became harmonious. I finally found hope,